Let me tell you something today that might completely rewrite the way you see your own life. Stop for a second and really think about this. What's the actual difference between the people who make it and the people who don't? Is it money? Is it luck? Is it the family someone was born into? No. The real difference, the one nobody wants to admit, is the willingness to work when nobody's forcing you to. So many of us have a script running on repeat in our heads. My luck is bad, I never get opportunities, I don't have enough money, I want it but there's just no way for me. But if you actually look at history, it tells a completely different story. Most of the people who built something real, who carved out a name for themselves, came from nothing special. No head start, no shortcuts. What they had was one thing and one thing only: a refusal to stop working. Before I go further, do one thing for me. If this is already making you think differently, hit follow right now before you forget, before life pulls your attention somewhere else. Because what I'm about to walk you through isn't just something to nod along to, it's something you're going to want to come back to on the days your motivation runs out. Turn on notifications too, because the next few minutes might change how you look at every single day going forward. All right, let's get into it. Success never shows up out of nowhere. It never arrives complete. It's a process, a slow accumulation, not a single event. A seed doesn't become a tree in a day, and a person doesn't become successful in a day either. It's the small, unremarkable effort repeated daily that eventually turns into something massive. But here's the sad part. Most people want the success without wanting the work. They want the fruit but refuse to plant the seed. They want to win but refuse to sweat. They want respect but refuse to sacrifice anything for it. And that's exactly why most people stop halfway. That's the quiet definition of giving up before the story even gets good. Whatever fight you've started, whatever race you've entered, stay in it until it's actually over. There's a massive difference between quitting halfway and trying your hardest and still losing. Losing after giving everything teaches you something real. It builds experience you can't get any other way. But walking off the battlefield, leaving before the outcome is even decided, that's a different thing entirely, and it costs you more than the loss ever would. Here's a truth worth sitting with. Talent can get you started, but only hard work can carry you to the end. Plenty of people are naturally gifted, but if that gift is never paired with effort, it fades quietly and eventually completely. Meanwhile, an ordinary person who commits to hard work every single day can become something extraordinary. History is full of people with nothing special about them at birth who became unforgettable simply because they refused to stop putting in the work. That's how powerful consistent effort actually is. It's a weapon that turns even the weakest starting position into something formidable. It doesn't just help you reach the impossible, it redefines what impossible even means for you. Where you are right now doesn't matter nearly as much as people think it does. What actually matters is how much you're improving day after day. Small progress repeated often enough eventually becomes a transformation nobody saw coming, including you. So the real question is, why do most people never manage to become hardworking in the first place? The answer is almost always the same: they fall into the trap of instant gratification. The phone, the endless scroll, oversleeping. Conversations that lead nowhere. These things quietly kill a person's dream, one unnoticed hour at a time. And the tragedy is that most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they're just relaxing. They don't see that they're slowly erasing their own future. One day they look up and years have passed and nothing has changed. That's when they start blaming luck, blaming circumstances, blaming everyone except the one thing that was actually responsible: how they spent their time. Think about how careful we are with money. We track it, we budget it, we try not to waste a single unnecessary rupee. But almost nobody applies that same discipline to time, even though time is the actual raw material that money gets made from. Wasting time is a far bigger loss than wasting money, because money lost can always be earned again. Time lost is gone permanently. There is no asset on this earth more valuable than time, and yet it's the one thing people treat like it's free. Hardworking people, people genuinely hungry for something better, never waste it carelessly. They understand exactly how powerful it is, and exactly what it can build if it's actually used instead of leaked away. Think 10 times, then 100 times, before you throw away even an hour of it. People who learn to respect time eventually find that time starts respecting them back. So how do you actually become that kind of person? Not someone who wants to work hard, but someone who actually does it consistently, without needing motivation to show up every day. Let's talk about 5 habits of 5 real, practical shifts that can genuinely rebuild how you operate. The first habit is starting your day with a target already decided. Most people wake up with no idea what actually matters that day. They stay busy from morning to night and still accomplish nothing meaningful, because being busy and being productive are 2 completely different things. So many people work all day and still feel at night like the one thing that actually mattered never got touched. Ask yourself every single morning, what is the one task today that actually matters most? Then do that one thing first, before anything else gets a chance to steal your energy. Completing something important early doesn't just check a box, it multiplies your confidence for the rest of the day, and that confidence is what fuels every hour that follows. The second habit is starting small always. This is where most people quietly sabotage themselves without realizing it. They decide to change their entire life overnight, wake up at 4 a.m. starting tomorrow, study 12 hours a day, delete every app, become a completely different person by next week. And for a few days, it works. Then it collapses, and everything goes right back to how it was before. The problem was never a lack of willpower, it was the size of the first step. Real transformation is built from small, almost boring steps, repeated so many times they eventually compound into something enormous. Break your big goal into smaller pieces you can actually hold. If 2 hours of study feels impossible, do 20 minutes. If 5 kilometers feels impossible, walk for 5. What actually matters is starting, because most people never even get past that first step. They plan and plan and plan again, but the starting line itself terrifies them. And tomorrow quietly turns into a year without anyone noticing. There's an old idea about 2 woodcutters given the exact same task: cut down as many trees as possible in a day. One worked without stopping, swinging his axe from sunrise to sunset, refusing every break. The other worked steadily but paused every hour just briefly. By the end of the day, the second woodcutter had cut down far more trees. When the first one asked how, the answer was simple: every time I stopped, I was sharpening my axe. Effort without direction burns you out. Effort paired with reflection, pausing just long enough to ask, am I even doing this right, is what actually multiplies results. Hard work matters, but hard work without a sharp edge is just exhausting yourself for nothing. The third habit is eliminating excuses completely. Excuses and success cannot exist on the same road at the same time. It's simply not possible. Someone who constantly says, I don't have time, the situation isn't right, I don't have the opportunity, will never build anything meaningful, because they're not looking for solutions, they're looking for permission to stay comfortable. There are countless people right now, somewhere near you, who started with far less than you have and ended up somewhere far better. That's not meant to make you feel small. It's meant to prove that circumstances were never the real obstacle. What you already have, right now today, is enough to start. Waiting for the right moment is usually just fear wearing a disguise. And time doesn't forgive the people who waste it waiting for permission that was never going to come. The fourth habit is learning to actually love difficulty instead of avoiding it. Most people gravitate toward whatever feels easy. But the biggest rewards in life are almost always hidden behind the tasks people are most afraid of, the ones that feel uncomfortable, the ones everyone else is quietly avoiding. That exact discomfort is usually a signal, not a warning. It's pointing you toward the thing that will actually change your life if you don't run from it. Every time you finish something hard, you come out the other side measurably stronger than you were going in. That's not a coincidence. That's the entire mechanism behind growth. The fifth habit is committing to getting 1% better every single day without exception. Success was never a single event. It's the compounding result of daily improvement, the same way interest compounds in a bank account. 1% feels invisible on any given day, but stretched across a year, 1% daily becomes an entirely different person by the time you reach the other side. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Ask yourself every night, what did I learn today? What did I actually improve? How much closer did I get to where I'm trying to go? Those 3 questions, repeated honestly, can quietly rebuild an entire life. Being hardworking was never magic. It's a decision, then a habit, then eventually just who you are. The day you decide laziness no longer gets to win is the exact day your life starts moving in a new direction. Laziness destroys dreams quietly, one comfortable afternoon at a time. Hard work turns those same dreams into something real. So don't wait. Don't explain. Start today, because tomorrow is being built entirely out of what you choose to do right now. Now let's talk about why so many people quit right before the finish line, because understanding this might be the single most important thing in this entire video. Watch closely and you'll notice a pattern. Most people start with enormous energy. The first day they're unstoppable, the first week still strong, the first month still pushing hard, and then slowly the energy drains. They get tired. They get discouraged. They start asking, I'm putting in all this effort, so where's the result? And that's exactly the moment most people walk away, without knowing that what they wanted might have been only a few steps further down the same road. There's a story about Chinese bamboo that captures this perfectly. When the seed is first planted, it needs daily watering, daily care, and for an entire year nothing visible happens. The second year, still nothing. The third year, still nothing. The fourth year, still absolutely nothing above the surface. At this point, most people planting it would assume it simply failed and give up completely. But if someone keeps watering it anyway, something extraordinary happens in year 5. Within a matter of weeks, that bamboo shoots up dramatically, reaching heights that seem almost impossible for such a short window of visible growth. Did it really grow in a few weeks? No. It had been growing for 5 years, just underground, where nobody could see it, building a root system strong enough to support what was coming. Your effort works exactly the same way. Just because you can't see the result today doesn't mean nothing is happening. You're quietly building the foundation that your future success is going to stand on. It's simply a matter of timing, and the right timing demands far more patience than most people are willing to give. Before success arrives, life tends to test you the hardest. When you start something new, people will laugh. They'll criticize. They'll discourage you without even realizing the damage they're doing. They'll tell you it's impossible, that you're wasting your time, that plenty of people tried this exact thing and failed, so you will too. But remember this, the same people laughing at you today will be the ones telling your story tomorrow. The people who deny even knowing you now will later claim they believed in you all along. Everything is simply a matter of time, a matter of waiting for the result to arrive, because people only ever respect results. They don't respect excuses, no matter how reasonable those excuses sound in the moment. Hard work has one quality that nothing else in life shares. It never lies to you and it never betrays you. People can betray you. Circumstances can turn against you. Even luck can seem to work against you for a while. But your own effort will never cheat you out of what it owes you. The work you're doing today might not pay off today. It might not even pay off tomorrow. But eventually, it will, because that's simply how nature operates. Whatever you plant is exactly what eventually grows back, whether you're watching or not. Let's talk honestly about failure for a moment, because most people misunderstand it completely. Failure feels like an ending, but it was never meant to be one. It's an opportunity disguised as a setback. Think about a toddler learning to walk. Nobody expects them to walk perfectly on the first attempt. They fall constantly. They get back up constantly. Eventually, one day, they're walking without even thinking about it. If that same child had decided after the very first fall that walking simply wasn't for them, they never would have learned at all. Your life follows the exact same pattern. You will fall. You will make mistakes. You will fail more than once. But every single one of those moments is quietly making you stronger, whether it feels that way at the time or not. Compete with yourself and only yourself. In today's world, so many people are losing their peace by constantly measuring themselves against everyone around them. Someone sees another person's success and feels crushed by it. Someone sees another person's car and feels like a failure by comparison. Someone sees a curated version of somebody else's life and quietly starts believing their own life doesn't measure up. But your life belongs to you. Your path is yours. Your timeline is yours, not anyone else's. If you need a competitor, compete with who you were yesterday. If you need a comparison, compare today's version of yourself to the one from 24 hours ago. Push yourself one small step further than where you stood before. That's what real success actually looks like. Not a trophy, not a headline, just a quiet, private improvement that only you would even notice. Your biggest competitor was never anyone else. It's always been you. Here's something worth remembering when things feel slow. A GPS doesn't give up when you take a wrong turn. It doesn't shut off or refuse to help. It simply recalculates and shows you the next route forward. That's exactly what you have to do every time life throws you off course. Not quit. Just recalculate and keep moving. One thing is certain, a person who refuses to stop cannot truly be defeated. That's one of the most powerful truths in life. The people who stop are the ones who ultimately lose, but someone who keeps moving forward, even slowly, even imperfectly, becomes almost impossible to beat. Maybe your progress feels too slow right now. Maybe the results are taking longer than you expected. That's fine. Just don't stop. A river never reaches the ocean because it's the strongest or the fastest. It gets there because it never stops moving, no matter what stands in its way. If you refuse to stop, you will eventually arrive exactly where you're trying to go. Right now, your effort might feel invisible. The results might not be showing up yet. But trust this, every attempt, every drop of sweat, every struggle you push through is quietly shaping the future you haven't met yet. Remember that the people who actually make it never really lose. They either win or they learn. There's no third outcome. So stop being afraid of failure. Stop being afraid of difficulty. Learn to work, and work hard, because no force on this earth can hold back someone who refuses to stop fighting for what they actually want. If any part of this reached you tonight, don't let the feeling fade by tomorrow. Save this. Come back to it the next time motivation runs low. Share it with someone who needs to hear it just as much as you did, and follow along, because this conversation is only getting started.